Hi everyone, my name is Jen McMillan and I am one of the co-owners here at Rocked Community Fitness. I am so excited to be part of the United Way Brandon's Week of Caring. Today is Wednesday the 28th and we're talking all about mental and physical wellness. We are going to do a workout together today and here at Rocked we are all about building very small positive habits for yourself and finding a community that supports them and also inspires you to be the best version of yourself. I know you're already probably a little bit nervous, but you don't need to be. We're gonna work out today for 8 minutes together, but if 2 minutes is best for you, then do 2. If 3 minutes is best for you, do 3. Anything that you do today is a step in the right direction. So we have 4 movements in our workout today. Movement number 1 is going to be everyone's favorite. It is the burpee. It is our most basic fundamental movement of getting down and getting ourselves back up. So get yourself to the ground. Get yourself back up. You can add a little hop overhead if you'd like. If you want to modify that movement, find a chair or a table or a counter. Take yourself into a plank position. Back up to standing. Clap your hands overhead. Our next movement is going to be the squat, another movement that we use on a daily basis just to sit down. So in our squat, we're going to sink down under control, or again, we can modify that movement to a box, or a chair, or a couch, anything that you have with you. Our last movement today we've made up, so you're not going to be able to Google this one. It's called Tahiti Treat. And what it is from a plank position, you're going to touch your toe of the opposite foot underneath. A modified version of this movement will look like this. Hands and knees, raising opposite limbs. So we're going to work for 8 minutes. We're going to do 5 burpees, 10 squats, 15 of those Tahiti treats. But as a special surprise, every minute we're going to stop and do 10 jumping jacks together. So our jumping jacks can look like this, or they can just be stationary and on the spot. I hope you guys are ready. I'm going to start our 10-second countdown. Let's get sweaty together. So go at your own pace and choose the movements that make sense for you today. Let's have some fun. Here we go. We have 5 seconds. We're going to get ready for those jumping jacks and then pick up wherever you left off. Back to wherever you were in your workout. We are back to those jumping jacks. Great job, guys. 5 seconds, back to our jumping jacks. We're almost halfway through. Remember where I was. Coming up to our jumping jacks again. Again, if you need to rest, take a minute off and join me again. Here we go. Ready for our jumping jacks? We have 3 minutes to go, guys. This round, I'm going to show the modified versions of our movements, so follow along if you're using those ones. Right back to those jumping jacks. 2 minutes to go, guys. We're almost there. 1 more minute. Let's do 1 more round of jumping jacks. We can do it. Hang on 40 seconds, guys. 5 more seconds. And time. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I know I'm out of breath after 8 minutes, so 8 minutes is all it takes. Again, small positive changes to build those lasting habits towards a stronger, healthier, and happier you. To finish up, I'm gonna lead you through a couple of very quick stretches today, just to bring that heart rate down and get us feeling great for the rest of our day. We'll find a nice position on the ground in our hands and knees, and we're just gonna start with some cat-cow. So all we're gonna do is round that upper back, and then push through our shoulders and arch. Good. Now what we'll do is thread the needle. So we're going to take our right arm and put it right underneath, get a nice twist, and then follow it all the way up to the sky. We're going to do that twice on each side. Switch arms to the other side. We'll do one more. We're just gonna give a gentle stretch here. Still breathing heavy. Hope you guys are too. And then lean back onto your legs. And just one more time.
Hi everybody, my name is Jamie Falloon and I am the Perfectly Imperfect Yogi. I am so happy to be here today to be part of the United Way's Week of Caring. We're going to spend 10 minutes connecting to our breath, our bodies, our minds. The world is so overwhelming right now and we need to take the time to come back to ourselves and connect to ourselves so that we feel grounded and not all out of control. You don't need a yoga mat, you don't need yoga clothes. If you have a body and you can move it, you can do yoga. That's all that's required. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. And I'm going to have you start in a cross-legged seated position. If being cross-legged doesn't work for you, then you don't have to be. Put your legs straight. Put them anywhere you want. It doesn't matter. Just find your comfy position. So, just going to start. We're going to close our eyes. We're going to feel ourselves connected to the earth beneath us. Your palms can shine up on your knees or anywhere that is available to place them. And we're going to take a nice deep breath in through the nose and let it out through the mouth. Another breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Just continuing with that breath. Being aware of the space around you, above you. Making sure your jaw isn't clenched and your tongue's not forced to the top of your mouth. If your mind is wandering, just focus on that breath. Feel it moving in and out of the body. If your eyes were closed, you can go ahead and open them. We're going to take our right hand and place it on the earth beside us, and we're just going to reach up and over with the left. Just stretching over to whatever area is comfortable for you. You don't have to force it. Taking a breath in, and an exhale. And then inhale, coming all the way back up. We're going to place that left hand down, reach up and over with the right. Taking a breath in, and an exhale. Inhaling back up one more time. We're going to touch that right side down once more, reaching up and over with that left. And if you have the space, you can touch your elbow down. If it doesn't reach, that's fine. Mine doesn't. Breath in, and an exhale. Good job. Inhaling back up, left hand touch down, reach up and over with that right, and if that elbow touches down, go ahead and let it. Taking a breath in, and an exhale. Inhaling back up. We're gonna switch to our child's pose, which I will explain. So just coming around, bringing your knees wide and your big toes to touch. Let your bum sit down towards your heels and stretch those arms out in front. And we're letting our heart melt down towards the mat. Your arms can be completely rested on the floor, or you can pull up onto your fingertips and drop down like that. So then those elbows would be off the mat or the floor. You don't need a mat. So go ahead and take a breath in and an exhale. We're gonna walk our hands over towards the right. So moving those hands over, pull back on that left hip, and I want you to breathe into your left rib cage, imagining your ribs are like the gills of a fish, so they're opening on your breath. Taking a breath in, and an exhale. Walk those hands back to center. We're gonna drop in here, so coming all the way down. Taking a nice deep breath in through the nose, and let it out through the mouth. And walking those hands over towards the left. Pulling back on that right hip, breathing into that right rib cage. Taking a breath in, and an exhale. And walking those hands back to center. Dropping in. Taking a breath in. And an exhale. Walk those hands in and pull up into your tabletop position. Your knees are hip-width distance apart and your hands are directly underneath of your shoulders. You can tuck those toes under, nice and strong in that belly. We're going to go ahead and take a breath in, drawing the belly down towards the mat. The head comes up and the tail comes up into your cow pose. And then exhale, untuck those toes, curl and round, remembering to drop the head and the tail. Inhale, belly floats down, tail comes up and head comes up. Exhale, curl and round, just finding a little bit more movement with every cat and then cow. inhale. And one last exhale, rounding up, pressing the tops of your feet into the earth. Inhale back to that tabletop. So you can move that left hand a little bit forwards if you want to give yourself a bit more space. And we're going to inhale that right arm up towards the sky. Exhale, feed it through and under that left. We're going to come down to our shoulder and the back of our head. You can leave that left hand planted, or you can slide it up above along the floor. Bringing that left hand back in. If you moved it, press into the earth. Inhale that right arm through and all the way up. And then exhale, place it down. Again, maybe just a little bit forward so you have enough space to twist under. Inhale that left arm up. And then exhale, feed it through and under. So again, you can leave this hand planted, which will help you push into that rotation. Or if it's more comfortable, you can just slide your head above your head. Pressing into that right hand. Inhale that left arm through and up. Exhale, place it down. So I want your fingers spread wide. You're going to tuck your toes under, and we're going to bring our bum in the sky for a downward dog. So you can walk your dog out just by dropping one knee in at a time. And then we're going to drop both heels. I'm going to have you pull up onto your tiptoes. I want you to push your sits bones towards the sky. So pushing that bum up towards the ceiling. And you're going to feel that that brings your belly towards your thighs. As that happens, go ahead and drop those heels again. Our gaze isn't going back between our feet. It's sort of straight down on the mat. We're going to go ahead and inhale, and we're going to flip forwards to plank. Pushing the earth away nice and strong here. Exhale, downward facing dog. Walking your hands in towards your feet. We're going to ground into the earth. So we're forward folded. If you need to, you can bring your hands to your shins. That's okay. We're going to inhale, halfway lift. And now you are going to bring your hands to your shins. Exhale, fold forwards. If your hands don't come down to the mat, again, just leave them here. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees. Fingertips are going to touch down beside toe tips, grounding into the earth. Inhale the arms out and all the way up. Exhale your hands at the side. Inhale your arms out and all the way up. Exhale, fold forwards. Again, you can bring your hands to your shins or down to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift, flat spine. Exhale, fold. Soften your knees. If your belly reaches your thighs, let them rest there. Bring opposite hand to opposite elbow, and then ragdoll out. So that's just rocking side to side. Bringing those fingertips back down to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift, flat spine. Exhale, fold, and then just walk those hands back out into that downward dog. Taking a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Go ahead and drop those knees down to the mat and come to your straddle pose. We're just going to bring our legs wide for a quick stretch. If it's uncomfortable, bring them a little bit closer together. I'm going to have you sit nice and tall, taking a breath in, and exhale, fold forwards. If your hands don't come down, like if your forearms don't come down to the floor, that's fine. Bring your hands. Most importantly, I want you to hinge from your hips. So if you feel like this action is happening from your belly, we want to come back up and just come forwards from those hips. Taking a nice deep breath in. And an exhale. Go ahead and walk those hands back in. Come back to whatever was your first comfy seated position. We're gonna sit tall and close our eyes. You can take a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Another breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Bringing your hands to heart center. The love and light in me shines to the love and light in each of you. Namaste. Thanks so much for joining me for these 10, 11, maybe 12 minutes. I'm super sorry. I tend to go over. But feel free to sit in any of these poses for as long as you like, just connecting to that breath. If your mind's still going, just continuously coming back to your breath and to your centered self. And I hope that you guys all have a great day. Thanks.
A lot of people talk themselves out of seeking counseling because they look around and they say other people have it worse off than I do. Or they have a built-in, I can do this on their own. They're independent and they feel like I can do this, I can figure this out. So there's a lot of those messages that convince people, no, I don't need help, other people are worse off than I am. And that may be true, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't be looking out for our own mental health, reducing stress, reducing anxiety, trying to reduce isolation, which is difficult, but it is possible.
We're living in a time of heightened tension, heightened stress. I'm a couples and family counselor primarily, so I'm seeing that in families currently. I see a heightened sense of irritability in people, and perhaps people are more inclined now to use conflict in the way they interact about issues in the family.
I think part of what we're all dealing with right now is a real sense of prolonged trauma, right? It's out there, it's in here, it's all around us. So with COVID, and it's just layering on top of what already normal stress, and it's making that normal stress so much harder. And it's broken down our normal systems of where do we normally reach, right, when we're feeling bad. Some of those doors are literally closed to us right now. Some of those people are literally behind masks and in other provinces, or we just can't get to our people, we can't get to our places. And I think it kind of creates a sense of panic in us when the normal things bump us, that we just don't know. Yeah, the systems that we've normally reached out to kind of aren't there in the same way. And so it adds to the stress. It kind of amps us all up just that much more. So it's kind of this general communal collective trauma that we're all facing together, and then it's our individual traumas that are buried under and stacking on top, and they're coming from both directions. And so it can feel kind of paralyzing, it can feel really agitating. but no one is alone in it. It's all a shared reality right now.
Burnout is a big sign of increased workload and increased stress, especially in the workforce and most specifically in our healthcare field. And burnout has a lot of faces and it manifests itself in a lot of ways. And sometimes it takes somebody else to identify burnout in a person, and then when they show up here, they're ready to address it and make some changes. Exhaustion, irritability, change in sleeping patterns, change in eating patterns, things that didn't used to bother us a lot. So it's capacity, reduced capacity to deal with the stresses in life.
Probably when people are getting into the pattern of trying to address issues in family life from a problem-oriented way, when they start to focus on difference of view about an issue, and they're inclined to the pattern of trying to persuade each other or influence each other's thinking on a particular issue, which again will just heighten the tension further. Getting back to the basics. Who do we love? How do we express that love in the way we interact with loved ones? How do we receive love and support from others? How do we demonstrate our understanding of what the other is saying, not to influence the other, but to gain ideas about how to help the other? So the focus of the interaction would change. It isn't about getting one's way, but more about helping the other one find relief in their stress, in their difficulty.
There are still options. I think that's the thing, right? We have to be a little bit more creative than we were maybe before. And that constant renegotiation and adjusting takes a lot of mental energy, but it's worth it. So the things that I find, like professionally, but also personally for me, that work the best, get outside, like get fresh air. The weather's changing, but even if it's not, like it's worth just feeling some. We're learning more and more about brain chemistry, and like if you can get to green spaces or get near trees or get into a forest, like there are natural antidepressants that kick in when we're, and anti-anxiety, like that our pharmaceutical industry is very like trying to mimic, and we get those we can get those chemically, but that's in nature, that's all around us, and that wants to feed us. So if you can get outside, do that, even if it's just for like a 10-minute walk on your lunch break. That would be really important. We're finding that moving our bodies is getting harder, right? Like we're staying indoors more. We're not, and our stress needs a way to work itself out. Like it needs a way to. We need, as people, we need to be able to push that out of our bodies. And so if it's a bike ride or a walk or a run, or a dance party in your kitchen, or sing it out. Like we just need ways to kind of push that stress out of our bodies. So if you can get outside, if you can move your body, and then also social connections are so important. Find your people, whatever ways you can. If you can do that safely in person, do it safely in person. If not, FaceTime, Zoom, pick up the phone, write a letter. Just that feeling that you belong to someone and to something that's bigger and outside of yourself, like those kinds of reminders and that kind of feedback is really important, to know that you have people that you can invest in and that will invest in you.
Overall, reach out. You are not alone. Almost all of our negative emotions grow in isolation, and they reduce when we reach out. Reaching out and going to get some help is really, really hard. But the people who I see have the courage, and then they're also motivated to make some change in their lives, which just improves their lives. So reaching out to someone is the first step, I think. If you don't have family and friends, there are kids' helplines, there are phone lines, there's crisis lines that people can call. I know it's hard, but at least so people don't feel like they're facing whatever they're facing alone. Friends and family are huge, but sometimes people need an objective or a stranger to talk to, a crisis line or kids helpline. Those, just reaching out, talking to somebody is the first step, and it's the best step.
I think we're creatures who we're wired to love and support, and that needs to be the driving focus in any particular interaction with a loved one. I'm not sure how to explain that any further. We need to be there for one another, to help one another in family life with loved ones, as opposed to the primary agenda being resolving difference.